Hey everybody, Martin Williams here, and I just want you to take control of your own life. How do I do that? I have to lead myself first. So if you got a clean sheet of paper or you're writing this down right at the top, lead yourself first. Don't look for leadership outside of you, and don't give your leadership away. Once you give your leadership away, we can turn it into whatever we want to. We can use your energy to create a world for us. I think you should use your own energy to create a world for yourself. So there are three things on how you handle this: your habits, your practices, and your rules. Your habits, your practices, and your rules. A habit is something that it's a tendency in your life. It's a tendency, you don't even notice it, but if anybody asks you to give it up, it would be difficult. That's a habit. It's a tendency you do all the time. You don't miss it until someone tries to take it away. I want you to learn how to develop positive habits that fit this new idea. Once you start forming habits, you do them every day, all the time, but it fits this new idea, then they will be hard to give up to. Say it takes about 21 days to break a habit and make a new one. You're sitting in that frame of time right now where you can do that. Pick the next 21 days. Do it right now. Map out, put it on your calendar. For the next 21 days, I'm gonna change my habits. Match them to this idea of controlling your own life. Any habit that gives you control over your own life, change that habit and build it. Practices. Practices are something just a little bit different. The practices is how you apply your belief system. Your belief system is set. You're gonna have to do some quantum leaps. You're gonna have to do some quantum leadership and quantum change in yourself, but you're gonna have to change your practices. Practices they come from what you believe. Because you believe it, you practice it. Different from habits. Because you practice it, it means you believe it. So you know what you gotta do? You gotta change what you believe. My favorite philosopher, my favorite leader, my favorite teacher, my favorite book is the Bible. My favorite leader is Jesus. He always said wherever he went, what do you believe? How do you believe? What is your belief system? Your belief system shows up in your practices because you can't operate outside of what you believe. When you believe it, you do it. When you believe it, you respond to life that way. So you have to change where you're getting your information. You have to change the information source. You got to change what your information says. You got to change all that so that you believe something different, because you cannot act on what you don't believe. You have to change all of that. So you want to change your practices. The last thing is you want to change your rules. Rules. Rules are the things you refuse to break. It's how you govern your life. It's the principles on how you do everything you do. What are the rules? I have some rules. I have some rules. I have some rules that I never let anyone lead me into an area I don't go into. I have a rule not to lie. I'm not saying I tell everybody the truth, but everybody that needs to know the truth about me, they know. My number one rule is that I never lie to myself, because lying to myself is the worst person I could lie to. One of my rules is that I must be in charge of my own conduct. I've got to own my own conduct. I've got to own my own dream. I've got to own my own world. My dominion belongs to me. It can't belong to someone else. Even if I screw it up, I take ownership for it. So what are your rules? Now, what am I getting at? These three things, habits, practices, and rules, prove that you're leading yourself. Once you give up the leadership of your own life to someone else, you're no longer a person. Can I hit you real hard while I got you on the ropes? Let me knock you out. The only way you can prove that you're worth giving life to and breath in your lungs is that you take control over leading yourself. Not one person on this earth was born to be a servant. Yes, I said it. Not one person on this earth was born to be a servant or a slave to someone else's idea. And the way you prove that you're not living under someone else's idea is that you live under the original one, that you were created in an image of a righteous God, creator. Call him what you want. He created the whole thing, and then he created you to live in it like him, ruling your own life. So the way you prove that life is worth giving to you is that you live it with the right rules, the right habits, the right practices that get you to where you're supposed to go. Now, don't be upset with me. I'm your friend. I want you to control your own life. So that's why I'm telling you, you can, you must, and you will, because that's the whole idea of which you were created. So now might be a good time for us to breathe this in and exhale everything that keeps us from leading our own lives, from developing our own lives, from molding our own futures. That power is in our hands. I'm Martin Williams, and all I ever want for you is to control your own life. Later.